What impact does limiting the right to freedom of opinion and expression have on our ability to confront and prevent violations of other human rights? Group 24 believes that putting limitations on free speech inhibits our ability to confront and prevent violations of human rights. It is for this reason that we argue that free speech should remain without limitations. Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights proclaims freedom of opinion and expression as a right that all people are entitled to. Leaders such as Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King utilized their right to free speech in order to put an end to the government-mandated racial segregation present in their societies. Their voices were inspirational, and their words aided in freeing their people from the shackles of racial segregation.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
In this sense, freedom of speech allows us the opportunity to initiate change. Therefore, to limit freedom of speech would be to limit our collective ability to change the world.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy
Come on,
looks like.
show me what democracy.
Some countries, such as Australia, have placed limitations on free speech in order to combat hate speech. Despite these efforts, migrants and Indigenous Australians alike have commented on the fact that hate speech has not disappeared from their lives since these limitations were put in place. Migrants have reported that the only change in hate speech was which nationality it was directed towards, and when surveyed, 92% of Aboriginals stated that they had experienced hate speech in the past 12 months. This demonstrates that these laws are seemingly ineffective at curtailing hate speech in Australia. In addition to that example from Australia, civil and criminal laws face another issue. Who gets to decide what hate speech is and how? Sorrell's definition of hate speech is speech that criticizes others based on ethnic group, religion, or sexual orientation, and incites aggressive behavior. But where do we draw the line between hate speech and controversial speech? The danger with placing limitations on freedom of opinion and expression lies with the inability of the public and politicians to agree on what hate speech entails. Besides, to decide today what hate speech will be tomorrow is a short-sighted response. For as society changes, so does what is considered acceptable, which is something that is only able to change through debate and the exercising of our right to free speech. Limiting the right to freedom of expression in this increasingly globalized world would not fulfill our responsibilities as global citizens. Perhaps we should focus less on dictating what we can and cannot say, and more on how we as individuals can say it in a respectful manner. After all, Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of information, freedom of assembly. These are not just abstract ideals to us. They are tools with which we create a way of life in which we can enjoy freedom."